Looking at a Ford Galaxy today, there's no power steering since it had a jump start. It's not finding the power steering. I've scanned the fault codes. Thing with this, you don't get to read them here on this. There may be a... Let's see, report. What does that say? Oh, there they are. So here's the faults. Things aren't seeing it, the power steering, amongst other things. So this one is the instrument panel. It's not seeing the power steering. So what I've done, I made a note on this car. On this car I used Autodata. I use Autodata or Tech for Techs, and sometimes you'll find a wiring diagram on one that you might not find in the other. And I had the fuses here with the ignition, fuse 42, and fuse 3 is under a cover. This is like a maxi fuse down there. And that one's just blown, so I don't know if it's something that I'm actually slightly overcharging as well. It's at 14 volts. I've got nothing on the other side. So the first thing I need to do is put a fuse in and see what happens. I switched the engine off and changed this fuse, and it popped straight away once I get it connected. So I do have on the bottom one a ground. See, it's lighting up green on here, but that could just be it going all the way through the motor and out the other side. You know, it doesn't mean it's a direct short on the power wire. So now I gotta find out where the short is. I'm gonna go to the motor and disconnect it and check if I still have a short on this wire. If I don't have a short on the wire when the motor side's disconnected, it'll have to be the motor itself that's shorting out. I'm going to use a test light to see where the short is. So this test light is connected to battery positive, so anytime it touches ground it's going to light. I'm just using a jumper to go to the bottom side of the fuse because that fuse is blown. So that's getting a short circuit here. If I disconnect it from the pump, I had to take the wheel arch off to get access. But I want to see if I touch these wires, does that light go out? The wires are just behind there. A couple of big wires. The blue one and the black one. I need to disconnect them and see what's going on. We've also got 3 smaller wires, which are just down there. So the green one will be the ignition feed, so it knows when to work. And the other 2 are can high and can low, those 2 white ones. But I'm interested in these 2 at the back just now, so I need to get to that and unplug it. But if at any time I'm trying to drop this out the way to get better access to the plug so I can get my hand on it to undo it. If I move this and the light goes out, I know it might just be a wire that's touching and shorting on the body. So that's my plan, to drop this and keep an eye on that light that I've got going on up here. Right there. And see if it goes out. So I've loosened this enough and unplugged that. That's the 2 big wires, and the light didn't go out until I unplugged that. So it's telling me there's no short in the cable. I can wiggle the cable and see if it comes back on, but it looks like it's internal to the pump, the problem, the power steering pump or the module. Instead of connecting another fuse, I've just put 2 jumper wires. I'm using a headlight bulb, and it's lighting up brightly. So it's a definite short circuit to ground. So if I put a fuse in, it would just light again. As if I plug it in, as soon as I unplug it, light will go out. So if I unplug that again, it's a bit of a pain to go to. I'll just unplug it again, and the light will go out. I've disconnected the plug, the big plug with the 2 big wires at the power steering. This has gone out. Now this is just acting as a fuse. It's not power and ground that I've connected it to. Both sides, just replacing a fuse. So it should be powered on both sides. So it shouldn't be coming on, but by disconnecting this down there, well, it's disconnected enough that it's it's not plugged in anyway, even though it's just resting on it right there. So it's not plugged in. And the light goes out. That means it's not a short circuit in the wire. The only thing it could possibly be is a short internally in the power steering pump. Last check I want to do is just check here. I've got the can high, can low, and the ignition on power. And that's those three there. So we're all at 0. Two of them are like 2 volts. Right on top of each other there. Like 2 and a bit volts, and the green for the ignition is all at 0. So I'm going to put the ignition on and see what happens. Yeah, it's all okay. I've got the battery and these 2 CAN bus, can high, can low. So it's a case of I don't want to tell them they need a pump and then I come back, somebody fits it. Someone else fits it and it doesn't work. I want to know that I've got the CAN bus here. So there's the problem. Just a shorted motor, which is up there. That lot. All that. So they need a new motor, and hopefully that'll fix it. Thanks for watching.